Next up, the infamous breakfall. When you're unable to execute a rolling or redirecting movement, your last resort is to create as much surface area as possible along soft tissue in order to decrease peak impact at any one spot. For this tutorial, you'll need a flat, soft surface like grass, but as we get closer to simulating the real fall, you'll want to seek out extra soft surfaces like sand or gravel at a playground, maybe mulch. And actually, this is one of the rare cases where you may want to go to a gym where you can find mats, because this will help speed up the learning process, it'll lessen your risk, and generally improve your comfort of learning this technique. We'll start by establishing the landing position on the ground, so go ahead and hop down and follow along with me. First of all, we're not landing flat on our backs like this. This leaves you vulnerable to certain strike points on the shoulders, your tailbone. You also leave your spine vulnerable if there are any protrusions from the ground. I'm also leaving my head vulnerable to whiplashing into the ground as well. I'm also not completely on my side with the line of my shoulders 90 degrees off the ground. This can trap my shoulder underneath me. Instead, I'm somewhere in between where the line of my shoulders is 45 degrees off the ground, leaving me in a safer position on soft tissue. Whichever side I'm facing, that same side leg is my long leg, whereas my other leg is bent, knee facing directly upwards with my foot flat on the ground. It's really important that your bent leg knee is facing directly upwards. Any deviation from that can cause you to pull muscles with the impact of the fall, as well as this inward dip for all you men out there risking squashing your manhood. The same would go for your foot on the other side of the long leg. As far as the foot positioning of the bent leg, I want to make sure I have a little bit of space in between my butt and my foot here. If I let this foot get in too close and I have more impact with a little bit of momentum going forward, I risk sitting on my foot, and this can be very dangerous for the knee and the ankle. All right, moving up the body, let's look at what the arm of the landing side is doing. I want this arm long and palm flat. I don't want my knuckles down for obvious reasons. That's going to be painful. Your main goal here is to not have this arm posted out behind you, which is what a lot of people do, or bend at the elbow, which can cause you to trap this arm underneath you. Also, I don't want this arm above 90 degrees. This can be very dangerous for my shoulder. And I also don't want this arm to go below 30 degrees to my body, because I risk landing on it with my body. So you're looking to have this arm long, palm flat, somewhere in between 90 to 30 degrees. Your other arm is generally floating around your chest. Most importantly, you don't want your arm back behind you. The weight of your arm can pull you towards your shoulder blades and tweak muscles with impact. You also, though, in a high impact fall, don't want your wrist taking impact here. In martial arts, generally you're protecting your face, but for our purposes, we're just gonna float the hand here, and if we have a little bit of extra lateral rotation and it won't be too much impact, you can use this hand to stop you from going over. The neck should be tensed and strong in order to keep the head off the ground. This shouldn't be too much of a problem in ground level falls, but as you take more serious falls from greater heights, and if you're not wearing a helmet, another trick you can use is the hand or arm helmet. Here's how it works. If you tuck your chin while your arm is up near 90 degrees, you can create a nice little impact nest for your head, and in worst case scenarios, you can bring your other hand up for that hand helmet position. This is very likely going to injure your hand or your arm, but you're dealing with a hierarchy of priorities in this case. Now that you have the basic position, we're going to practice entering it in a very slow and controlled way. You'll just simply roll laterally back and forth as you set the correct landing position on each side. Go ahead and spend 3 minutes practicing that, getting to a place where it feels natural. Now that you've established this position entering side to side, now we'll explore entering this movement going over the head. We'll safely and slowly do this by going from our forward roll. The only difference now is that you're not going to sit up out of the roll, and your body will end up in this breakfall position. The shoulder you went over will be the opposite of the side you land on. So if I roll over my left shoulder, I'll end up on my right side. Like I said before, if you have access to mats or extra soft surfaces, the rest of this tutorial will be much easier and more comfortable for you. And lastly, before you get started, the nice thing about breakfalls is that you get to pause, look over your form, fix any errors, and then get up. This is the best way to learn, so don't just get up and walk away without self-analyzing and correcting. Go ahead and practice that on both sides for 5 minutes and then bring it back for the next part. Now that you have a feel for going over your head, we need to make the entrance more accurate by creating a pivot point that you can flip over. We'll start with just setting a forearm down the same side as the shoulder you would be going over. Also, there's a new element to pay attention to, and that's which heel is driving up first. Whichever forearm is on the ground, it'll be your opposite leg heel drive. Then as you go over that same side that did the heel drive, the opposite side of the shoulder you're going over will be your landing side in the breakfall. As that becomes easy, you can then add a little more height with the handstand entrance. The same applies. Whichever side you heel drive first, that's your landing side for the breakfall. As you progress through these two heights, your main goal is to land all at once. You don't want shoulder, hip, and then feet landings, which could create peak impact at certain points. Instead, you're looking to spread out the impact across as much surface area as possible. Go ahead and work through these two progressions for the next 10 minutes on both sides, and then bring it back for the last challenge. Kuth. So you're landing all at once and your breakfall form is consistently correct. Now for your last challenge. Use your hands on the ground less and less until you don't need to place them down. This is the Webster entrance, and this is a very realistic simulation of what it's like to go over your head in the forward continuum. Same applies to the heel drive foot being the same side as your breakfall landing. Go ahead and play around with this for the next 10 minutes on both sides and then move on to the next tutorial.